The point is that having sex with somebody, whether you like it or whatever the person has, there's a transfer that happens. He slept with Sister A.
Yes.
And
Sister B.
So once you get married, you want to compare the innocent lady you brought into your life to Sister A.
Yes.
So what you used to do with Sister A, you expect Sister B to become that same sister.
Yes.
And at the end, the sister will be wondering what is going on with my husband.
You're making love to each other.
Yeah.
And your mind will be somewhere.
Yes.
Thinking about that experience.
Hello, my name is Mark John. I welcome you back to Family and Love Center. And today we'll be discussing about a soul tie. And why is soul tie such a big deal? We'll be talking about it. And soul tie happens during sexual intercourse. So sex is not the only thing that creates soul tie, but it is more powerful in bonding people together than any other act. God established the marriage covenant. During a wedding service, vows are made, a covenant relationship before God. We vow to love each other and to honor one another. This covenant is consummated through sexual intercourse. The man and the woman becomes one flesh. A godly bond is created if the marriage bed remains safe and sacred as God intended. The word for sexual intercourse in Hebrew is the same word used for knowing God and knowing truth. It implies a deep intimacy. A different word is used for David's idolatrous act with Bathsheba. 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 4. During any sexual intercourse, a soul tie is formed. This tie or attachment occurs regardless whether there is or is not a marriage. So as we dive into soul tie, before we do that, I want Pastor Benjamin to say a word to you. Thank you.
Welcome everybody, and we are so excited to be here today and to continue with our teachings. This is Family and Love Center, and we welcome all of you to share, share, watch from the beginning to the end. And we believe that today you will be blessed. There are so many people who have so many questions. What should I do because of soul tie? We hear about soul tie, but we want to understand today, what is this soul tie all about? And so many people are victims of soul tie. So today, just get ready, reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, and let them know that today we are here and we're going to be discussing about soul tie. God bless you.
As we are talking about soul tie, how is soul tie formed? Soul tie can form through birth, parents, siblings, and relatives. And soul tie can always be formed through the decisions we make through friendship and marriage. Soul tie can always be formed through abuse, rape, consensual sexual intercourse outside of marriage, through fornication and adultery. All these things I mentioned, through those things, soul tie can be formed. And it is very important we talk about it. So I will throw my first question to Pastor Benjamin. When we say soul tie, actually, what are we talking about here?
Well, when we talk about soul tie, what we are talking about is deep emotional and spiritual connections that bind individuals between a woman and a man when they have a sexual intercourse. This is what we are talking about here. And in different ways that people, as you said, through families, friends from different families, we have that challenge as well. So soul tie is all about emotional and spiritual connections between two people.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much, Pastor. Yeah, there are different forms in which soul ties are formed, and whereby you see some people, they said, I can't do without this person.
Yeah.
So anytime you have sex with a person, you bound with them. And whenever a person is sexually involved with another person, the neurochemical change occurs both in their brains. That encourages the limbic emotional bonding. The limbic bonding is the reason casual sex doesn't really work for most people. You see, two people may decide to have sex just for the fun of it, yet something are occurring on another level that they might not have decided on that at all. So with that, as they keep on having sex, some people call it a casual sex, but what they don't know that something is happening and they keep on bonding together. So sex is enhancing an emotional bond between them, whether you want it or not. Not only one person, often the woman, is bound to form an attachment, and it will hurt when a casual affairs end. You use me. You will always hear the word you use me. The man did not use you, but what? Something happened even in the process of casual sex. A lot of people don't know that, okay, let me just have fun, but there's a bonding that happened. That bonding tends to hurt when that sex era comes to an end. When a casual affairs end, you will hear something once again, you use me. One of the basic thing is that the woman is the one who is hurt the most. The reason is that the limbic system is larger than that of a male. Let me repeat that again. The limbic system of a woman is larger than that of a male. That is what we call soul tie. The reason why the woman is hurt the most is because the limbic system of the woman is larger than that of the man. And in that situation, the woman gets to have these feelings that she said, oh, the man just used me and dumped me. Because why? That is where they get hurt the most. But if you take two paper together and you glue them together, if you try to separate them, there's a piece of that paper that remains, or not only paper, anything that you glue together, but if you try to separate them, there's a piece that remains on the other one. So if you keep on having sex with somebody, or whatever you do, there's a part of you that remains in that person. And that thing keeps on coming back to you. So in such situation, that is where bonds are formed. And that tends to remain in the mind of people for a very long time. I can give you an example. I once have a friend that we were together doing a training. And in that training, he is a leader in that training. And he's supposed to go to Spain. We're supposed to come to Africa. And he decided to go to Spain. I decided to come to Africa. And he, as an African, is not used to this kind of clothes that women wear, half naked and everything. So he went to this city in Spain and he fall into a trap whereby he went to this street and there were naked women and he fell into it. And the moment he had sex with this woman, something happened. He started hearing voices. So whenever you have a sex with somebody, as we said, there's a transfer.
Yeah.
There's a transfer. And that transfer, whatever the person has, part of that person is deposited in your soul. So there's going to be an effect of that sexual relationship. And for him, it was terrible because after he did that, he started hearing voices. Hearing voices. So he consulted me and we talked. The next thing that happened was I told him to go and talk to the leader and tell them what he did. And at the end, he was suspended, but he was able to get help to be free from that. The point is that having sex with somebody, whether you like it or whatever the person has, there's a transfer that happens.
Yes.
And that transfer tend to bond people together. People that are involved, the people that are involved. I can give you an instance. Sometimes there are people, I have had this a lot of times, whereby some people who said, I feel something is wrong with somebody I know. They talk. So sometimes some people say, I think I kind of feel as if my girlfriend or my wife is cheating on me. It's because of the soul tie. There's a connection. Sometimes you just know something about somebody that is very close to you. You have a feeling that something is not. That is a part of the soul tie. And it tends to affect people. So I'm going to throw my question there. Is there a godly soul tie? And is there also an ungodly soul tie? So, Pastor, I will leave that question to you.
Yeah, there's a godly soul tie. The scripture says when the two become, they are joined
Yeah.
in marriage,
Yeah.
they will become one.
Yes.
there's a godly soul tie and there's an ungodly soul tie.
Yeah.
This ungodly one is got through sexual intercourse outside marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the godly one is the positive one, when you do it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And the negative way is you, a man or a woman, doing that outside marriage. That is ungodly soul tie, which has consequences. But the godly one is different. It has blessings. And the Bible says a man who finds a woman, who finds a wife, obtains favor from the Lord. So that means the positive one, or the godly soul tie, is through when you align according to the will of God. You do it God's way, not your own way. Because the scriptures are clear. It says that the bed should not be defiled, and the bed should remain pure. The marriage bed should not be defiled. So purity is very key. The godly soul tie is all about purity, holiness. But the ungodly one is, immorality. Immorality. The scripture calls it immorality. It says, flee from immorality. So the ungodly one has a negative consequence. I mean, it's dangerous. It affects the life of a person. The two who had intercourse, the man and the woman, they will have a consequence.
Okay, the point you're making, the point you're making is that godly soul tie can only be found in marriage.
Yes.
And yeah, it's very important for we to know that godly soul tie is very important in marriage, and that is the reason the Bible give us an insight whereby a man shall leave his father and his mother, and the two shall become one flesh. That is bonding together. So if a man is bound to his wife, that is a godly soul tie that God intended them for them to be one, because it's only in the mathematics of God that 1 + 1 = 1 again. Not 1 + 1 = 2. So you have to understand that, and knowing that there's a godly soul tie. So an ungodly soul tie, if I get you correctly, is where people have sexual intercourse outside marriage.
Yes.
I said something here in one of our episodes that if a lady have sex with 10 men, her chance of having a happy marriage can reduce from 80% to 25%.
Yes.
Because she had sex with different kind of men. It is impossible for her to be able to bond with these 10 men.
Yes.
So in the process, even when she gets married, her chance of divorce is high because she cannot be able to bond with any of the men that she once had sex with. So she keep comparing them.
Exactly.
And the more she compare them, her chance of staying in marriage reduced from 80 to 25%. And that is very dangerous. And a lot of people, so she's likely to be divorced, or she might leave because she's attached to many people. So, because if you look at the Bible in the book of 1 Corinthians, it says something very important. It said, he that, something with an harlot.
Yes, those who are joined, when you have an intercourse with an harlot, or you are bound with the harlot, you become one flesh.
You become one flesh with an harlot. So the issue is that how many people are you one with if you are having many sexual partners? So you are one with a lot of women, not a woman, but women in plural. So if you have sex with several women, you share yourself in these women.
Yes.
And if you share yourself in these women, so at the end of the day, you can't find yourself. You are lost.
It's difficult.
Completely. You are lost in everything, and it has the power to affect you. Because it will affect your state of judgment. It will affect your mood of decision. It will even affect your present state of mind. Because at the end of the day, you share yourself to several people. So you can't find yourself anymore. And it tends to affect a lot of lives.
Yes. So mentally, you'll be affected. Like in the other episode, we said something that a woman, you can be married with your husband, and when you're making love to each other,
Yeah.
and your mind will be somewhere.
Yes.
Thinking about that experience.
We made that point. And,
yes.
And we gave a reference with what happened to Jacob.
Yes.
That is so true because it happens to Jacob.
Yeah.
What happened to Jacob was that when Jacob wanted to marry Rachel,
yeah.
and they said he needs to work for 7
more
years
yes.
to get Rachel. So instead of Rachel, they gave him Leah.
Yeah.
And once they gave him Leah, that night. He was hoping that it was Rachel, but it was Leah. He knew it was Leah, but throughout the night, he woke up in the morning. He said something that is very interesting. He said, I thought she was Rachel. So he felt cheated. So the question is, Pastor, during that night that he was having sex with Leah, he didn't look at her face. He was imagining Rachel. So it is possible for men to go and have sexual intercourse with their wives and still have a picture of another woman in their heart.
Yes.
So because why? They are bound with that one. So they are having a soul tie with the other woman.
Yes.
And that can bring about what? You are only present. And one of the things is that some men don't know that. If you are not connected to your wife knows.
She knows it.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your mind will be somewhere.
Yeah, your mind will be somewhere.
You're not there.
Yes.
So now what happened is sometimes because of having those several sex intercourse with many women, you're now expecting the experience to be the same.
Good. That's another strong point again because he slept with Sister A.
Yes.
And Sister B. So once you get married, you want to compare the innocent lady you brought into your life to Sister A.
Yes.
So what you used to do with Sister A, you expect Sister B to become that same sister.
Yes.
And at the end, the sister will be wondering what is going on with my husband. So the comparison here becomes the devil that haunts men.
Yes.
And affects a lot of people. Not only men, likewise women.
Even women.
Yeah. She wants to compare her husband together with another guy that she wants to spend the night with. So she expecting to perform.
There's this word, this common word say, this woman is boring.
Yes.
You know, when they're making love.
Yeah.
Why? Because there is an experience he got with another woman. So expect even this wife, the married woman, to have the same experience with her, the same experience he had with another woman. So that becomes a challenge. Then the woman will try to, imagine, why is my husband behave in a certain way? Because I don't get it. He wants things to go in this way. And, I don't have that experience.
Yeah.
And the man expect the woman, or the woman expect the man to have the same experience she had before, which is a challenge. That's why some men, when they're making love, they tell their wife that, you know what, you're boring.
That is a very serious problem. And you see, talking to couples and talking to people over the years, if a couple come for counseling, actually, what I realized, they don't really tell you that the problem is a sexual problem.
No.
They just tell you that my wife or my husband is misbehaving.
Yes.
They hide the real thing from you. Because these are some of the events. So I want to encourage a sister or a brother. If you meet somebody that you know that you want to, please get to know them better. Get to know who they've been with before you come in.
Yes.
Get to know, try to get a little bit history about their life. Don't just fall in love. Ask them. Even, I am not saying you shouldn't get married to them, but ask them, have they get help from the previous relationship? Have they gone for counseling? Are they healed of those trauma they go through? There's this pastor that got married to this lady, and the lady used to have a boyfriend before she broke up and married this pastor. The lady told the pastor that my former boyfriend, she told him after they got married, she looked at him in the eye and tell him that my former boyfriend used to sleep with me like 3 to 4 times a day. So the pastor cannot even meet even once. He's struggling to meet it. So at the end, they come to a point whereby, as I'm talking to you, they are no longer together much because of that situation. Because he could no longer meet that. So there's a bond she had with that first boyfriend. So the bond is still strong that she still think of the sexual implication of what is happening right now. So this is a negative kind of soul tie because that is a premarital sex that emerged himself in becoming a soul tie. I once belonged to a team. As a team leader, we are going for an outreach, and one day I saw one of my students, and she was crying. I asked her, "What's the problem?" She hold a picture on her phone of this guy that break up with her, and anytime she pick up her phone and look at the picture, she cries. Then I now went to her, asked her, "Where is this guy now?" She said he's in Ghana, and I said, "You are with me here in South Sudan, and you are crying." I said, "That's a problem." It's a big problem. So some people are emotional. They have this soul tie that is that they had because whether you like it or not, having a casual sex outside marriage bound you with somebody.
Yes.
And that thing has a negative effect in your life. You might think it's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
That is why divorce is dangerous.
Yes.
Because once you divorce, if you see your partner in the middle of the market, the one you separate, there's a ringing between both of you.
There's a connection.
Yeah, there's still a connection.
Because with some people, man of God, when they have that soul tie, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and it reaches a level where the girl begins to dream about this boy because the soul tie is spiritually and even physically. The person got affected and then begins to dream about this person and say, God is telling me to go back to that person. Because of the soul tie.
Yeah. And they can't differentiate between a soul tie and when God is saying this is your partner.
Yeah.
They can't differentiate that.
So that challenge is even in marriage. This lady or a man had a girlfriend before and he keeps dreaming about this girlfriend, and sometimes if the marriage is not going according to his expectation, he's saying, God is telling me to go back to my former ex so that we can reconcile, because this marriage is not God's will. Yeah.
God will never tell you to break up with the lady you already married to go back to your old relationship because this is not God. No, that is soul tie.
Yes.
There are ladies and other boyfriends who have gone into like a relationship covenant.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't even realize that.
Yes.
They go into a relationship covenant. At the end, the thing didn't work out.
Yes.
Or the lady goes to school the way they are at home. Then she now went to example Kampala and went to a university there, and the boy is still struggling in Arua. And she went there, she discovered that life is not what she expected, and there was a change. Yes. I got a phone call in the night. The other guy called me and said right now he's in the bush. He wanted to hang himself.
Oh no.
I asked him, what's the problem? He told me that his girlfriend break up with him. I said, she only break up with you and you want to go and hang himself? He told me yes, because he said they've been together. They've had things in common. I said, are you people married? No. So they have had so much sex in the process that they are now knit to each other. So the emotions is high. So he will do anything to try to get her back. But since he says she's breaking up with him, he thinks the only way for him to come out of this is to kill himself.
That's right. These incidents have happened to many. There's a young boy in Kampala. They were in a relationship for a long time. Then because of the soul tie, the girl said to the boy, I think we should, we should quit this relationship I just want to move on with my life. And then the boy said to the girl, that's not possible. That can't work. I can't live without you. So if you decide to leave me, that means you're killing me. I can't live without you. So what the boy did, went and to the third of, I think the fifth floor, on the flat, and he wrote a cheat on his pocket. He put it in his pocket and he jumped from there. There are many people down there, the cobblers and so many business traders. They thought they were fixing the building. They saw someone coming from up. He fell off from up there and he died. He just, and when they checked his pocket, they got this cheat. And he said, in the cheat, he wrote something. He said, I cannot live without you because you have decided to move on with your life without me, and you got another man. So I end my life here. I can't live without you. And the guy died. He died just like that.
Yeah, you see, that is really dangerous because if you are in a relationship with somebody and the person is saying, I can't do without you,
Yes,
that is a very unsecured relationship.
it is dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. That is very unsecured relationship. That relationship is not secured.
Yes.
Because the truth that everybody can do without another person.
Exactly.
We don't want to tell
That's
ourselves
right.
the truth.
Yes.
Because what is the center of that relationship? Then that is not even a relationship. That is not even love.
It's not.
That is not love. If you truly love the person, you will not tell the person, I can't do without you. So that is lost.
It's lust.
Yeah, it's
sure.
lost.
Yes.
Because you are lost it. A lot of people don't understand. Once people start having sex before marriage, a lot of things, there's a lot of neurochemicals that happens in your brain.
Yes.
There's an occurrence that happens. So everything that you think about, now we've had sex, then we are meant to be together
forever.
So yeah, that is your feelings talking, speaking there.
Yes.
So it is very dangerous to when God said no to something, God knows the effect of that thing.
Yes.
God knows the side effect. So when God said stay away from this thing, because he knows the emotional damage that is going to cause.
Yes.
So a lot of people engage themselves in such thing, and at the end, you will see somebody kill himself. I remember they called me to go and pray for a guy because they told him that the lady he's sleeping with is his sister. They later find out that they are far cousins or distance cousins, whatever they call it. So he should stop. The guy said no, he will not stop. He went and get this flashlight battery. Broke two and drank it.
Oh, no.
Then they rush him to the hospital here in this very city. Rush him to the hospital and they call me that, hey, come and pray for him. I say, what kind of prayer do you want me to pray? I say, I am sorry, I'm not wicked, but I'm not going. I'm not doing that. Yeah, what do you want me to? In his right mind, why would you do that?
It's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's losing.
This is the result of a soul tie.
Yes.
Because if he come into that relationship clean without any sexual involvement,
yes,
you will discover that you are free because you are not bound to it.
Yes.
Now you find yourself bound to it because there's a connection.
Yes.
And that connection is through what? Sexual
intercourse. Yes.
That is why I said God created sex and he put it inside a container called marriage. So it should remain in a marriage container. Sex should remain in a marriage container forever, only for those that are married. Because if you try to have it outside marriage, there's a repercussion that will happen. A lot of ladies have sex before marriage, and after they got married, they find it difficult to break up with that their former boyfriend. It affects them a lot.
These things are happening even in different marriages. You find a man or a woman is having a secret marriage, Yeah, so you realize that the man is not contented with the marriage where he is, because there is a soul tie that keeps It's like it keeps dragging him back,
Yeah.
dragging him back. There is a force behind soul tie, because mentally it will disturb you. You might sit or live in that marriage, and to some point you begin to remember your past, some good experiences. You used to go to the park with a woman, you used to go swimming, and your wife doesn't like that, and say, well, she doesn't like what the other former woman liked. So it becomes difficult for the man. That's why some men have secret relationships even though they are married. Why? Because they know that there's something lacking here. I'm trying to get it, but I can't get it. So because I can't get it, that soul tie keeps pulling him back to that woman. You keep remembering, as you said, when you put a glue, you put two objects together,
Yeah.
and when you're trying to separate, there is a piece that remains.
Yeah.
And that's what the devil does.
Yeah.
He leaves a piece with you so that he will always come and claim that piece.
Yeah.
He will not let you go.
Yeah.
Why? Because that piece will not give you peace in your marriage.
Yeah.
That peace will disturb, your relationship between you and your wife.
Yeah.
Why? Because the other woman used to behave in a certain way, and you want your wife to behave in the same way. And maybe, for instance, the other woman was, as you're saying before, that some men or women, they can have sex several times in a day. And then this woman, maybe you got married to this woman, and she doesn't like sex so much. And the man, because he's used to the other kind of a person, and he wants to have that kind of a person, so he tries to have it in his marriage, but it doesn't work. Why? Because of that experience, that soul tie. It's like a reminder, keeps reminding you of your past, and say your past was the best life you ever lived. Why are you bored in this marriage? You must have that person. So you find the person trying to connect back because of the soul tie, that bond they have together. And some people make vows. They cut themselves, and they mix the blood and exchange the vows. And this thing keeps affecting the person in the marriage until that marriage will not work, because they have not dealt with that soul tie. They don't deal with it. They just keep on reminding the person of the past, and which is a big challenge. Young girls, young women, or men, is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Having sex outside marriage is dangerous.
Yeah, we are still going to talk about sex in most of our series as we continue, but which we still have a segment about sex. But today we are talking about sex and soul tie together. But we're still going to have a separate segment. We have the first segment, but we're still going to have another segment on sex, because we need to expatiate why sex is very important and what is God's concept about sex. We're still going to discuss more about that. But you see, if you're a lady out there, before we round up this section, there's something I really want to point out. If you're still married, and you still save the numbers of your ex in your phone, because some ladies still save the number of their ex, they save it, they didn't save it with the man's name, they save it with the lady's name.
Yes.
They save it with the lady's name. So whenever the ex call them, even when they are married, it is a lady name that pops up. So the husband never gets suspicious of them, and they keep talking to the ex.
Yes.
So you are still having a soul tie to your ex.
Yes.
I just want to throw that out there, because some lady thinks they are smart. One thing you don't know is that you are going to create a lot more problem for yourself.
Yes.
You will create more problem for yourself. Because if you keep on, that soul tie is still there. One day you will be drawn to it.
Yes.
You keep going, and before you realize you are totally out of it. So, as we come to the end of this segment, please, soul tie, you can be free from soul tie. You can be free from it. It's very possible.
Yes.
Because there is nothing too big for God to do in your life. If you're struggling with soul tie, please leave a comment. Reach out to us, DM us, or you can go to your pastor and discuss about that, or you can talk to any person you trust as a spiritual leader that can help you out of it. Some people have made vows, and that vow you can denounce them, and it can greatly help you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Please like, subscribe. We'll wait for your comment. God bless you.